WordPress is essentially a blogging platform, and in this video I will discuss how you can integrate a blog with your WordPress website using the AVADA theme. So what I've done here is I have imported some sample content for the online tutor, and I've cleared all the blog posts from it, and I've also removed it from the menu. So I can go over that process with you, and I can show you how you can create blog posts and integrate the content from your blog on your pages, for example, the home page. So why am I doing that and not using the author sample layout that I was using in my other videos? The reason for that is there are a bunch of options that were set up for the blog, and I didn't want to change everything about them. So I just thought it would be much simpler if I go with a simpler layout that will give you guys a better understanding. So let's jump right into that. And the first thing I want to get started with is to show you how you can create a blog entry. So how you create a new blog entry is hover over this new icon right here, and then you can click on a post, or you can also go to the back end and you'll have the post icons or post menu right over there. So you can click on post here and add new post. You also see categories and tags, and we'll discuss when we create a new post about what those things are. Those are primarily used to organize your content and associate your content with keywords. So let's click on the add new here, and then I can show you how you can create a new blog entry. So to create a new blog entry, what you need is a title. And here I have some sample text. So let's say I will just copy some sample text right here. And like you can see, I can click on the AVADA Builder or AVADA Live, and then I can use all the elements that AVADA Builder has. If you are looking for a lot of design in your blog post, like you want to use elements from the AVADA Builder, like we discussed when we were designing the pages. So for example, if you want a countdown timer, you want the video embed option, you want to display some sliders, you want to work with a lot of short codes, columns, then I would totally recommend that you go with the AVADA Builder and just design your page. If it's a routine blog post, for example, a small article or something, then you can just use the classic text editor that you have here, and you have the HTML view and the classic editor to work with. And usually in my blog posts, they are not anything special, so I can just do that. And there is some formatting available. Of course, you can also write divs or write custom CSS, but you have also a handy dandy toolbar that you can work with to format your content. So for example, here I am just going to make this heading 3, and you can also change the colors and make them italics, use short codes if you'd like, and things like that. So it is up to you to play around with this. For this blog post, I am not going to go the AVADA Builder route, and the reason is because I covered that in my other videos. So you can go and take a look at my page edit videos if you'd like more detail on the AVADA Builder. So here, once you are done with the title and the content, very important to select a category. Category is very important because it helps you organize your posts. So you can also blog about different topics. Let's say you can blog about recent news. Recent news, you can create a blog category, and you can create entries there as your company or your business have new news to post. You can also create a new category for different areas that you blog about. For example, if you are a car enthusiast, you can add a category for tires. You can add a category for some accessories. You can add some categories for exterior product. So just gives you a nice way to categorize it, and then you can like create different menu items and different menu entries. So how you do that is you can click on that and just say, like here I'm just gonna say a recent updates category, and I'll click on the enter key right there. And what that will do is it will create a new category and associate my post, my current post, with the new category. Now this new category will be available as I create more blog posts. So when I create a new blog post, this recent updates will also be available, and I can also add more categories or go to the categories section right there and add new categories. The next thing down here is tags, and I can create different keywords that will be associated with my blog post. And then it gives me a nice way, like for example, if I'm using the WordPress search function, somebody can search for a term on my website and they will come across this post. So for example, popular belief is a keyword in my post. I'm just making that up, by the way. So I can go and create a new tag and hit the enter key or add the add button. So popular belief, you can see, is now a keyword that is associated with this post. You can also use tag clouds or put tags in the widget section of your website, any widgetized area like the footer, sidebars, things like that. So it gives you a nice tag cloud and people can click on it and find your content. Also good from search engine perspective, because a slightly advanced topic, you can with tags it creates new taxonomies. So taxonomies have their own archive pages, and you can index those URLs as well. So this, as I said, was slightly advanced, and if you don't follow that completely, that is okay. But you can watch it over again and Google what taxonomies are and what archive pages are, and you'll get an idea of what I was referring to. So now that we have the categories and tags set up, you can, by the way, have multiple tags for a single blog post if you wanted to. Very important thing is to set up a featured image. The featured image you can will be shown whenever you decide to use a blog widget or some post widgets on your site, and it will make it look nice. So here I will just select something. So for example, this kid, I will just select him to be the featured image of my post. And okay, so it looks like I'm all set up. One thing that I want to do, so let's publish this post, and then I'll show you what I wanted to do. Okay, and one more important thing is inside of this post, you also get these options. But before we talk about these options, you can see that this post is currently using a custom content layout section. So that is something that I discussed when I was discussing pages, and I showed you how you can create custom layout. So let's go right there and edit it and delete it, so we have all the options to work with over here. So AVADA, and we'll go to layouts. Okay, so you have different layouts set up here, and my blog post layout is this one. So our blog post layout is set up to display a header, footer, blog post content that we just updated with some sample content. And what we are going to do here is just delete this layout. So we'll delete this layout completely, so our blog post cannot be linked with it. And then we'll go to the post menu again and select our post. So that is my first post. Now in the options panel, when we click on it, you won't see that it is using a custom content layout. So all the options are there and we can change them. So there are global options that you can set per your like blog archive options, or you can set up for blog single entry options. So I'll explain what those things are as we create pages for the archive and we create pages for the categories. So here you have some options to work with. You can decide to show the first featured image, yes or no. And let's look at the blog post in a separate window. All right, so that is the title right there, and then you have a featured image displayed because that is what my option is set, and that is my blog content, and then you have a title again, so after the featured image. So you can, of course, write, you have all the options that you have for pages. In fact, pages and posts are, pages are just a post type. So pretty much you can do everything that you can do on a page, on a post. And on a post level, you have a separate options that you can override per post. Let's say I want to do something like I don't want to display this featured image, and instead I want to embed it in my content somewhere. So a very easy way to do that is you can turn on off this option, but instead of doing that, we just want all our blog posts to not display this option. So if we want to set it on a global level, and what we are going to do is go to AVADA options. I'll just open that in a new tab. Okay, so now you can see that the blog options, cannot find the blog options. They should be somewhere over here, right there. So blog category, it has three main things: the general blog, blog, single post, and blog meta. So the view that we are looking at here is we are looking at a single blog post. So all the options that are here will apply to our post, and they are a post level options. General blog options are mostly for archive pages, and when we embed categories or AVADA Builder Blog Element. So for a single blog page, so what I want to do is not display the featured image in all my posts, and maybe not display this title after the image. So, and then we'll talk about how to embed this image inside of the content. So what you do here is you can go to the blog single post options, and then you have these options that featured image video on single blog post. We'll turn that to off. So we don't want to display the featured image. We don't want the previous or next pagination. If you want it, you can keep it, and right now it's not gonna display previous and next because we only have a single blog post, but if you have more, it's gonna display next. So up to you on how you want to work these things, and these options are there for you to play around with them and see how they work. You can also turn off the option to display social sharing box or author info and different things that are being displayed at the end. Like these are the social sharing stuff, this is the author stuff, comment stuff. You can change them and turn it to off like that. So if you don't want to show related posts, you can turn it off. You can don't want to display comments, you can turn it off. And these options you can override on a post level as well. So for example, post title, I can say disabled over here, and then just say save changes. So now I've changed a bunch of things for my blog single entries, single blog entries, and those will reflect in my blog post. So you won't see some of the stuff that you were seeing previously. Okay. So now when I refresh my page or post, you can see that the featured image is not there anymore, and the comment box is not there anymore, and some other things that I changed. So now let's say I want to edit this post and embed the picture somewhere over here. So let's click on the add media button right here, and I will just use the same picture and insert that in my post. All right, so now you can see that the picture is on the left hand side, and I can change the alignment like that. If I want to be in the center, it'll be like this, not interfere with my text. And if I want it to be right aligned, I can go like that. So now you can see right align is a style which I like for my blog post, and the text wraps around it on the left hand side. And an easy way to keep the aspect ratio and resize, not resize the image, but resize the view of the image. So I'm actually not resizing the image, but I am resizing like what part of the image will be displayed and keeping the same aspect ratio just by dragging and dropping. And if you look at the HTML of this, it will just add a width and height element to the element that was being displayed. So the actual image size is the same, but it was a quick way to resize it. Maybe I want to delete it from here and put it in the second paragraph because it flows better with the post. So I will click on that, insert in post, and just like we had previously, I will make it a right aligned and just adjust the size so it flows well with my content. Okay, so that is that. And then I can also have multiple featured images and configure my options to show sliders, but that is a slightly advanced, so I don't want to go there right now. So just click on the update, and then we will look at our blog post right there. So now that is updated, I will just refresh my image, refresh my blog post, and you see the image right there, you see the text right here, and like different things that you have set up in your options. So that is pretty much what I wanted to cover. Now also in the post, you can override, just like the pages, the title bar options, for example. So you can add secondary text, you can add different things, and to your post only, and you have different options here like the slider, title bar, content, sidebars. You can do all the stuff that we discussed in the pages to your post as well. Alright, so looks like our post is all set up. You can pretty much do anything that you can do to a page with it. Now what I'm going to do is I wanted to also show you a very nice tool that you can use to duplicate your blog post. And I don't know if I have installed that plugin here or not. And if not, we'll just go ahead and install it. So we'll check to see what plugins we have installed. And the plugin that I'm talking about is duplicate content or duplicate post. So it looks like we don't have it here. So what we are going to do is to add a new plugin. And our plugin is called duplicate post. And looks like Yoast has a Yoast duplicate post as well, but that I guess will be more in line with SEO. Duplicate page is one that I've used in the past, so I'll just go ahead and install it. And what you can do with that plugin is duplicate all of the content that you have in a blog post and basically make a clone of your blog post and then make changes to it. All right, I'll just go ahead and activate that. Okay, so while it's activating, what we are going to do is refresh that. And now in the toolbar, you should see a new option to duplicate as well. So here, I guess, so if I view post, right, edit live, edit post, yeah, edit post will give me an option to duplicate this as a draft. So let's say I want to duplicate this post. This is a nice template for me to work at, and I will just say duplicate this as a draft. And now you can see that there is a second post that I was just able to duplicate with a click of a button. So I'll just go there and make sure to make some updates. So this is, I will update the title. Okay, once the title is updated, to change the permalink, what you can do is click on this edit button right here and just change it to match with your title or whatever you want it to be, and then you can click OK. Also, you'll have to update the content of like whatever text and images you want to display. So to simplify things, I will just get rid of the image right there and maybe put a new image for that matches with my second blog post. So in this one, I will just use maybe this. Okay. Oh, this is a very large image, but I will just keep it center aligned and we will just resize it a little bit. Okay. We just want to be center aligned like that. Okay, this gives us a nice, and then we will remove this featured image and maybe use the same featured image that we just set up, like artwork. Okay, set featured image. All right, so everything is done. Now you can also select a new category if you would like, and not follow the same that our first one was created, but we'll just go with the recent updates category, and then I will just go ahead and click on the publish or the update button. All right, so now I have two blog posts to work with, and they both belong to, we can also look at this. So if I look at this, you will see the blog post. So this is the second post and some content, and you can see, you get the idea. Now what you see is related posts are being displayed, and if I decided to show a pagination bar like I did, I can go to a previous post and the next post. If I have the third post, then it'll show both the option, with the second post will show the next and the previous, but right now I have only one. And why recent post is displaying a related post is showing this post, because they belong to the same category. So they have this logic that if you have the same category or tags and some logic, then it shows in the related post section. So that is pretty much how you create a new blog post. Of course, just to quickly summarize it, you have the options that you can change on the single blog post options. And then also you have the option to work with the AVADA Builder right over here. But I just use the classic text editor because it's way faster for me to show you how to create blog post. And that is what I normally do when I'm working with the blog. Next thing to show you is how you can add a new menu icon and show your blog post right there. So what I'm going to do is to go to the dashboard and go to my menu, and then you have your blog categories right here. So you can see that recent updates, blog, tutoring, and uncategorized is right there. So you can, if you wanted an archive page, so whenever I say an archive page, it is nothing but a collection of your blog entries. So that you can add your blog entry just by going to the categories or archive page and add to menu. So it'll add the recent updates right to the end. Like let's say you want it to say, to call it articles or something like blog or whatever, you can update that over here. And now if you go to the home page, you will see this article setting right here that will be a blog archive page. So if we go to the archive page, you see that you see both the blog post with their featured images and some text and some metadata. So now what you can do is you can select what style you will be displaying your archive entries in. For example, you can go to your options. Again, I'll open options in a new tab. And these are the first category of options. So before, what we were discussing was single entry options, but now what we are going to discuss are the archived options. So if you want to display in a different format, then you can choose, for example, a blog layout. So blog layout and a blog archive layout. So let's say if we change this to a grid. Now I don't know which one applies to the current page. So basically what we have is, let's just go with a grid right now and see what it does. I think it's gonna be a blog archive, but we'll find out. Okay, so if I refresh the page, yeah, so it was a blog archive, I guess. So here I will just go ahead and make both grid, and then inside of the grid I can enable pagination, or I can have an infinite scroll. I can change the number of columns that will be used. So in my case, I just like a 2-column display. That's on my own website as well. And you can define some column spacing and padding and alignment and things like that. So you can explore these options on your own on how you want things to be. All right, so now what we are going to do is to refresh the page again, and now we should see a different layout. So you can see that my featured image is displayed in a grid layout, and you can also have text and titles, and the next one will be displayed down here. So why are these images not aligning? Because these dimensions on these images are different, so they are resized differently. That's why they are not aligning. What my suggestion would be is to use images, like featured images on your post with the same dimension, which will make your archive pages look really nice. So that is pretty much it on what I wanted to discuss. Of course, you can also add a new page, blank page, not the blog category, but a blank page, and embed these blog posts inside using a AVADA Builder, and that is what we will do next. So I'll just click and go to the home page. All right, and let's say that I want to integrate that somewhere on my home page, and what I'm going to do is to edit the page, and then I have the option to put it wherever I want. So in the introduction container, so these are all containers, and let's say you have a 5-star rating section. After the 5-star rating section, I can also add a container, or add this inside of the same container that I have and the same column that I have. So I'll just add a new element, and here you will have the post or the blog, right, like that element that you can work with. So you can use a blog, and then you can select different layouts, like you can select a grid like we did, or you can select a timeline, you can select a medium, large, whatever you want. So large you cannot select because I turned it off in the option. I guess you can select a large, and that's what it was set to, but I can also select a grid layout, for example, right here. And you can say 2 columns. I will pretty much leave the rest of the options. You can say how many posts will be displayed, and you can also set the categories it will pull from. So I will pull from recent updates category, order by date, descending. You can configure to display their thumbnails and titles, and how much text, like the excerpt length as well. So here I will just put like 35 or something. All right, so a lot of stuff you can display, and then you can just save it and update it. All right, so now I'm going to view the page, and here I will scroll down to where the rating section is. There is the rating section. Please add blog posts to display them here. So there must be a filter that I'm not setting, and it cannot. Oh, okay, so this one after the rating is right here is my blog section. This must be pulling from the tutoring blog category. So let's fix that as well. Over 12,000 5-star ratings. So edit page. or actually we can just do it visually as well, but right now we are here, and let's see what that is pulling from. So we have that. So here is the view page. I'll just do it visually because it is easier. So I'm just gonna edit live. Initially I thought this is the new post that element that we added, but it is something else. So let's look at it. So we'll scroll right to it, and this is the element that cannot display any blog post. So let's look and see what it's drawing. So it is displaying a grid layout of blog posts, and it is trying to pull from categories, and you can see the category, it was using this tutoring, but I deleted those blog posts, so it does not have any blog posts in tutoring to pull from, and that's why you see this message. So what we are going to do is simply delete this section right there, and that is the blog entry section. Like you can see the excerpt length, you can see the images, and like I was suggesting this, if you have the same dimension on the images, then it'll look much nicer, and you can have multiple columns. You can display these things in a timeline as well. So one more thing about the archive pages. So I was discussing about how you can put or have more control on the archive pages, because you have limited control on the archive pages, and there are limited things that you can do. So let's go to our site, and I will go to the articles page, and let's say you want to add some text before your post starts explaining what they are about. You want to display some video after that, or whatever you want to do, a sidebar, maybe something. It is hard to do that because it's an archive page. It's a category archive page. What makes it much easier is if you had a page with the embedded options, just like I showed to you. Then in the page you can edit any way you like, any blog options, and just put the embed the AVADA blog option over there, the blog element, and then you have a page to work with. So on the page you can put titles, embed videos, display that however you like, and you can also change the format of the blog entries. Like you don't have to go with a grid, or you don't have to go with a timeline. You can have different formats for different blog entries. So that is pretty much what I wanted to discuss. One of my students reached out to me and pointed out that what we are missing is how to work with the blog, and I just wanted to update my course and also have that information in there. Like always, feel very welcome to post new questions in the question and answer section. If you are looking for something and you're not able to find it, let me know and I'll be happy to look at it with you. So thanks very much for watching. Until next time.